Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to another chess recap video. In this Queens of Chess series, we're going to analyze an interesting game between Mongeli Sasha and Glenda Madelta. Now, this game was played during the final round of the Kenya National Chess Championship 2024. And prior to this game, Mongeli Sasha and Julie Motisiwa had tied. They were leading the ladies section of the tournament with 7 points each, and it meant that if any of them would have won their respective games, would go on to win the tournament. But as fate will have it, they both lost their respective games, and hence they had to go to playoffs, in which Sasha was able to win the playoffs and won the tournament. Now, the beauty about this game, it was short and sweet. Very good play from Madelta. She managed to win this game, and she made rather really pretty good moves from beginning to end, and she was able to play Mongeli Sasha and able to win this game. So without much further ado, let's dive into the game. So the game begins with knight to f3, the reti opening. Now this reti opening is a very common opening. It's compatible with a wide range of opening, in which it gives black the ability to choose their favorite opening to go with the flow. So it's kind of a very fluid opening. From here you can choose either to play Sicilian defense, French defense, and so on and so forth. So it's one knight f3 is a very fluid kind of opening. It gives black the ability to choose whatever she wants to play, and black in this game didn't hesitate, and she played a very interesting and not so common move by black, pawn to f5. Now this is the beginning of the Dutch defense, which is a very tactical opening. This is the kind of opening that black usually chooses when he or she wants to go for a win, because it's very tactical. It's very it's either the kind of those games that you either win or you burn. You either go for a win or nothing at all. It's not an opening that you play for a draw. It's not an opening that you play just to see what the games will be. This kind of opening is usually chosen by very tactical guys who love creating chances earlier, who love tactics. They usually go for such kind of opening. It's very tactical, and it has a very wide variety of things to choose out for. It has its advantages and disadvantages, but if you know it well enough, you can easily have easy wins. And if you are not very familiar with it and choose it, you can easily lose your game. Now, the advantage of this particular kind of opening by black is, first of all, it opens the f5, and this usually gives black the ability to easily infiltrate the white's king side using his rook or her rook, and black can easily infiltrate using the queen once they have castle, or bring the knight out early. So it's very tactical. It's very good opening for those people who love to play tactical games, or those who want to go for a win. Now, on the other hand, the disadvantage about this kind of opening is that it weakens the f7 pawn or the f7 square. If you're not familiar with it and you play it, you can easily lose your game. And if white plays it correctly, he has a better chance of or playing you just by the normal plans of the opening. So you must be very careful if you choose such kind of opening. So I'm not sure why Glenda went for this kind of opening. I think she must have prepared for this kind of opening before deciding to choose this particular opening. So the game continues, d4 by white, and then knight to f6. So knight to f6 was a good move by black. White responded with d3, and then after e6, bishop to g5 was played by white. And then here Mongeli played a not so good move. After bishop to e7, Mongeli went for the exchange. Now that particular exchange was not a good exchange, because it didn't yield much for white. In fact, it gave black a tempo, since, as you can see, as white, you have moved your bishop from its home square and have exchanged it for a knight, and yet you have nothing to show for it, because first of all, you have not developed any other minor pieces and exchanging it for that knight. That knight does not have any threat at the moment, or rather it's not a strong piece, and also you're getting rid of your bishop pair. So that exchange was not a very good exchange, that it was in the first inaccurate move, rather blunder played by white. That move specifically shows that Mongeli didn't have a very good knowledge of how to go about this opening, and somehow it costed her in a big way. So nevertheless, the game continues. Bishop to g2 was played by white, and then castles by black. Pawn to c4 played by white, and then d6 by black, kind of trying to open things up. So knight to c3 played by white, and then here black played a very crucial move. Now this particular move, queen to e8, is very, very important, especially in this kind of position. First of all, it kind of prepares the infiltration of the queen on black's king side. So once you see this kind of move on the board, it's usually you're supposed to take a very analysis of the board and decide which way you are going to castle, either to castle the long side or the queen side. So I usually suggest that in this kind of position, it's not very good for you to castle king side, because as you can see, major pieces from black are usually likely to infiltrate your king side, and it's like you're putting your king right in front of danger, and then there is this nasty pawn push, which sooner or later it will come. So not so good move to castle on the king side, in my opinion, in this kind of position. So queen to e8 by black was an important move, and I'm glad she was able to see it during the game. So the game continues. Queen to d3 played by white. When I saw this move, hopefully I thought that she was going to castle the king side, but for some reason she didn't. So knight to c6 played by black, and then here a3, preventing the infiltration of the knight and attacking the queen. So necessary play by white by pushing the pawn to e3. So the game continues. Pawn push by black, and then after takes, white plays the crucial move, pawn to e4. Now that move was important and it was necessary, because if you play something else, it will easily be forked. So good move or good play by white so far. So knight to d4, then castle takes, nothing much, and then here black plays the important move, or the best move in this position. Now pushing the pawn to f4 was a crucial move that had to be made by black. Immediately white shot castle. Now the beauty of this move is that for black, it breaks the pawn structure, protecting the king, and hence weakening the white king side. And as a rule of a fianchettoed king side is that you must always look out for this kind of pawn breaks, either this kind of pawn push, either by the pawn on the f file or the pawn on the h file, because once the pawn on g3 is attacked, like in this case, it usually kind of weakens your king side. Another thing also you must also watch out for is your bishop, your light square bishop in this case, because those are they are very important pieces in this kind of setup. Once those pieces are out, or once this bishop is traded, your king becomes vulnerable. They're only good when they are together. Once any of them is knocked out, you easily become in danger. So it's something to watch out for. So during the game, f4 was played by black, very crucial move, very necessary. And then white tried to infiltrate, looking for some tactic here, trying to fork, but a simple fallback by the bishop was kind of utilized, prevented the fork. And the beauty of this move also is also paved way for any attacks by the rook when necessary. So during the game, white played pawn to g4, which I must say that this was the biggest blunder during the game, because this particular move costed her the game. Now, this particular position as a opening principle, It's usually not important to push your pawns forward, especially if you have fianchetted your bishop, simply because those pawns work best when they are together. Once any of them gets out, it becomes very tricky for you, and you have to push those pawns forward when there is a need for you to push it, because if you just push it not having any clear reason to push them, or if you're not defending against something, it becomes bad for you. So during the game, I'm not sure why Sasha went for that particular pawn push, and it costed her a lot, and Madelta didn't hesitate to punish her for that. So first of all, she played pawn to g6, kicking away the knight, and then immediately went for this crucial move, went to g6. Now this move was very important because it pinned the pawn, and there was this tactic of pushing this pawn forward, and now once that pawn is pushed forward, things just go haywire for you. And also, since this is an open file, and then also a possibility of pushing this pawn further forward, things were not looking very good for white in this kind of position. So the game continued. White tried to defend, but immediately pawn to h5 was played by white. Now this move was the killer move, because once this move was played, it was game over, because it was just simply a matter of conversion, because no matter what white would have played, it was already a decided game, it was already a lost game. So white tried to defend, but after takes, this very crucial move, bishop takes g4, was played. Now the beauty of this move is that after king to g2, you can't pick the bishop, because if you pick the bishop, I'll just push the pawn forward and give you a check. Now if I push the pawn forward, you can't pick it with this bishop, because the bishop is pinned. It becomes very bad for white. So no matter what you play, you're going down in the way, because after bishop takes, it comes with a check, and now you are forced to pick up the bishop, because if you choose to go or to play any other move, you're going to immediately lose your queen. So you have to pick up the bishop, and now this beautiful check, and it's game over. Now the beauty of this check is that the queen has to go back. The queen has to go back, because you can't go in any other square. This is the only possible one square for white to play, and once you go to g2, this pawn push finishes the game, because I give you a check and I fork your king and your queen, and once I get rid of your queen, it's immediately game over. So Sasha was able to see this, and after the queen h5 check, she was able to resign, and Madelta won the game. I must say that in this position, I think the game was already decided. Once h5 was played, the game was over. So despite what white will have tried to defend, he will either have gone ahead to lose the game or lose an important piece, because now even if in this position you try to move something like this, after I pick, in this position, after picks, pick, then pick, then I give you a check, and then the next thing I'll be bringing my rook to give you a check on it. So it's game over after the move pawn to h5. So during the game, white decided to defend, but nothing much could lead. Now the beauty of this position, after bishop takes to g4, that you can't pick up the bishop, because if you pick up the bishop, you simply push this pawn forward, cutting away the defender of your same bishop. Now you can't retreat your bishop back because your bishop will be pinned, and by this attack I'm attacking your queen. And if you move your queen any other place, I pick a bishop with the check, and the same thing applies. My rook is coming to give you a checkmate. So the game was over. Nothing much will white have done. So after king to g2 trying to defend, I pick with the check, and you must pick up the bishop with the queen. Then after that, but this check, it's game over. Now I must say this game was rather interesting. A lot of inaccurate moves from white. She didn't play well in this particular game. She's a good opponent. I usually like her games, but during this game she kind of made some unnecessarily blunders, or rather not so good moves, and that costed her the game. So she went ahead and lost this game. Despite losing this game, she during the playoffs she was able to win the playoffs and won the tournament. So big up to Sasha. Good games and good play as always, and good play from Glenda as well. She played well during this game. She saw weaknesses and she was able to exploit them. Also, good choice of opening by her. I think she knew maybe, or she went for an opening that will surprise her opponent, and she managed to do exactly that, and that made her the advantage of winning the game. So good play from both opponents, and thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe, share, give me your feedback, things that you like me or would like to see on my channel. If you have games that you like me to analyze, kindly share with them on my socials. So thanks for watching. If I made this far, thank you, and bye bye. See you in my next analysis video. Bye.